What if I told you that 90% of your leadership is happening while you aren't even speaking? Think about the last time you walked into a high stakes meeting. You had the perfect slides, the data was bulletproof, and your pitch was completely rehearsed. But did you notice the subtle shift in the room's energy before you even opened your mouth? Did you see the team's shoulders drop, or did you feel them tighten? We often think of leadership as a series of spoken directives, but the most profound lessons are rarely heard, they are felt. In a world obsessed with what we say, we've forgotten the silent symphony of who we are. Today, we're exploring the invisible neurobiology, the quantum energetic fields, and the evolutionary survival signals that define your presence. Because in leadership, your words are just the surface. Your broadcast is the real strategy. Welcome to the H2H experiment. To master presence, we have to understand that humans are not self-contained units. Neuroscience reveals we have an open loop emotional system. Unlike your circulatory system, which is self-regulated, your limbic system, the seat of your emotions, requires external inputs to stay stable. We are biologically plugged into the nervous systems of those around us. This is limbic resonance. We've talked about it before. It means as a leader, you aren't just a manager of tasks. You are a biological intervention. You are a primary broadcaster. Deep inside your premotor cortex lies the mirror neural system. These specialized cells perform a dual function. They fire when you act, but they also fire when you observe someone else act. When you walk into a boardroom with a calm, upright posture, the mirror neurons in your team's brains fire as they were adopting that same posture. You are literally rewriting the internal theater in real time. But there is a high cost to getting this wrong. Have you heard of the still face experiment? In 1978, Edward Tronick showed that infants become deeply distressed and eventually withdraw into hopelessness when a caregiver suddenly becomes expressionless. In our world, we still face our teams every time we glance at a phone during our one-to-one, or maintain a stoic, unreadable mask during a crisis. We trigger an amygdala hijack in our people, flood their systems with cortisol. To the brain, a leader's unresponsiveness is processed with the same intensity as physical pain. So, how do we practically navigate this symphony? It requires a bold leap into the mechanics of the human body. Evolutionarily, showing your palms signals I have no weapons. It is a primal whisper of transparency. But don't forget your feet. They are the most honest part of your body because they are furthest from the conscious control of the brain. If you are talking to someone, but your feet are pointed towards the door, your nervous system is broadcasting that you want to escape. When we feel threatened, we protect our soft front. We cross our arms, we hunch, we use laptop as a barrier. A resonant leader practices the vulnerable chest. By keeping your torso open and your shoulders relaxed, you signal a lack of fear. In the language of quantum leadership, you are collapsing the wave function of threat into a reality of trust. Another one, a slight head tilt signals warmth and active listening. It exposes the neck, another evolutionary sign of trust. Silence isn't empty, it's where the thou counter lives. Instead of rushing to fill the gap, use a pause to signal that you're truly processing the other person's uniqueness, not just categorizing them as an it to be managed. Now, be aware of pacifying behaviors. Touching your neck, rubbing your forehead, or adjust your ring are micro expressions of internal stress. They act like a virus, spreading anxiety to your team through emotional contagion, that we have spoken before this as well. Instead, use the steeple gesture, fingertips touching to ground your energy and signal internal coherence. Now, let's go deeper. Presence isn't just about what people see. It's about what they catch. Gravitas field theory suggests that a leader's charisma is actually an energetic field generated through internal coherence when your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are perfectly synchronized. The HeartMath Institute has shown that the human heart emits a measurable electromagnetic field that changes based on our emotional state. When you are internally scattered or leading from guilt, your field is chaotic. When you are grounded and present, you emit a stable biological frequency that steadies the nervous systems of everyone around you. This is why a leader who is fully present for 5 minutes is much more effective than a distracted leader who is available for 5 hours. Your presence is the lead domino for your team's performance. The same is valid for our children. I will never forget a specific quarter review that we had in the past. I had rehearsed my script. I had the optimistic data. I even practiced a confident smile in the mirror. But internally, I was drowning in the silent weight of guilt over a project delay I really felt responsible for. I walked into the room, and within 3 minutes, I noticed something strange. My most creative team member was shrinking in his seat. The person that would every time give his opinion was tapping his pen aggressively. I thought I was masking my stress, but my vulnerable chest was actually a rigid shield. My arms were crossed, and my micro expressions were leaking disapproval. I was completely closed. I wasn't leading. I was broadcasting a still face of internal conflict. My words said, "We're fine," but my nervous system was whispering danger. It wasn't until I consciously uncrossed my arms, took a deep breath to achieve internal coherence, and admitted the delay, shifting from a payment of guilt to a choice of responsibility, that the energy in the room finally settled. The team didn't need my perfect pitch. They needed my regulated presence. And here we are with the H2H experiment of this week. This is called the Coherence and Presence Audit. This week, I want you to step into the role of the architect of resonance. We have a 3-layered experiment for you. Step 1, the 50-70 presence rule. In every interaction, whether digital or physical, maintain eye contact 50% of the time when you're speaking, 70% of the time when you're listening. On a call, look at the camera lens, not the screen. It's the only way to simulate limbic resonance in a digital world. And now, second layer, the torso and foot alignment. Twice a day, do a body scan during a meeting. Are your feet pointed at the door? Is your chest shielded? Consciously point your toes toward your partner and open your torso. Notice if the conversation becomes deeper and more honest. And third layer, the pre-meeting regulation. Before you enter your next room, spend 60 seconds in silence. Visualize your intention. Sync your heart with your head. Ask yourself, what field am I about to broadcast? And reflect on Friday. Did people seem more entangled with your vision when you focus on your silent broadcast? And now let's wrap up. Leadership is a silent symphony. You are the conductor, but you are also the instrument. Every tilt of the head, every open palm, and every strategic pause is a note that either builds a culture of trust or a culture of fear. The most important story you tell as a leader isn't the one in your PowerPoint. It's the one your nervous system whispers before you even say a word. If this resonated, I invite you to explore our other content, other materials, either on LinkedIn, our website, dh2hexperiment.com, or our Substack community that we have just started. Thank you for staying with the discomfort. Thank you for choosing awareness over autopilot, because presence may shape the moment, but your consciousness shapes the future. Thank you once again. Bye.